Welcome to the Business Throuple podcast, where we talk about what it takes to build a global business.
I'm Al.
I'm Jasmine Cherie.
And I'm Jamey. Welcome to the podcast.
Welcome to the Business Throuple podcast. We've got a really exciting guest that's joining us today. My claim to fame is that I went to school with her, so we've been friends for a solid couple of decades. But Jess Clare is she's the founder of a tech company. Today we're going to be talking about AI and the services industry. We're going to be having a really incredible conversation around the myths about AI, and then. Yeah, we're going to be just breaking down what is artificial intelligence and how it can improve our businesses and the impacts of it, because I know it is a really hot topic at the moment. So welcome, Jessica.
Thank you.
And I would like to say founder of a tech company, comedian by night.
Oh, yes.
Yes, I am.
Just to pre-frame, we're expecting some jokes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
What kind of viewers do you have?
All sorts.
Yeah,
Yes.
well, that's fine. I don't care anymore. Sure.
Yes.
Let's
You
do
don't
that.
have to. We don't do G-rated. Well, you do. You're a bit vanilla.
Oh, that's true. I should know that about you.
Your jokes are like pretty morbid.
So tell us a little bit. I'm segueing back to tech and where we're at. Like, tell us a little bit about how you got into tech, what excites you about tech, and where you think that it's going.
How I got into tech? I worked for a financial ASX listed financial company, and I was very interested in data. So I got very interested in data about 20 years ago. I found that there were certain practices that were going on that I needed to prove shouldn't be happening. And so I went out and did all this research and learned how to consolidate data so that people in CEO positions listen to you.
And that's what I love about you. Like, for our viewers, Jess is facts fucking based. So anything that we talk about today, it's fact. She's
Yeah,
done
that's
the
right.
she's
You love
done the
woo-woo though.
research.
You love the woo-woo.
If it can't be backed up in data, you're just full of shit.
Wonderful.
It all comes down to the ones and zeros, eh?
Well, I do get there's like the testing things in reality, and there's observational, and there's all of that, which I do really appreciate. And data is only what we know now, but it really is, there's so much out there that is just like people say it, it's just not true. It's just not real. It's just not tested.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's like 95% of YouTubers.
And so you
and spiritual entrepreneurs.
Yeah, that's right.
there's the meeting of the middle, and that's what we're all about. I think on the Business Throuple, we've met this middle of, cold hard facts and a little bit of woo woo on the side.
Yes.
So you co-founded Zingify a few years ago, and so you've been in the guts and the trenches of the industry and seeing where tech's going.
Yes.
What's your interpretation of where we're at and where we're going?
Well, AI is definitely here to stay. It's not a fad. It is definitely not a fad, and we say that all the time. In fact, what AI is doing is probably 0.00001% of what's possible with AI.
Yeah.
And I think that's what my business partner and I, we both talk about. Like, we're now getting out there and doing events because we can't handle that everyone thinks that it's mind-blowing that AI can do things like write an email. Like, we're like, that's not what it is possible and capable of. It's like, oh, now we've got a few more marketing tools. That's not mind-blowing. In fact, that's been around for a long time.
Yep.
What's mind-blowing is when people in occupational therapy, where you have, kids who can't actually brush their teeth because they were born with a deficiency. What's mind-blowing is that now AI is making it available. What took them 10 years to teach a kid how to clean their teeth, they can now do using AI in a few seconds. That's mind-blowing. But what we hear about is, oh, now I can write an email campaign.
And I think
Humans are simple beings, mate.
Oh, man.
As a majority.
It's called herd mentality.
Oh, and I should say, I do use it to write my email campaigns, but it's not to say that, I
love your commentary
completely
on the socials around
Yeah.
AI. Like, I asked AI this and got this,
Yeah.
and so I love that you're bringing a level of humanity to it as well.
Yeah.
But you are deep in the back end of that. Sounds
Of deep in the back end, mate. Deep.
you know what I love, right? And where we're
Of
at
the industry.
is the people that have got the balls enough to step up and give it a go at the moment. So I saw
Yes.
a lady who's building an amazing tech company of something that she loves. And she put a post up the other day, and it was clearly written by ChatGPT. But everybody in the comments was like, "Oh, look at you! You know, look at this. You've used ChatGPT," and I'm like, she's given it a fucking go. That's where the world's going. Yeah, it's not perfect, but she's the one showing up and going, "How do I utilize this?"
She also had an extra hour and 45 minutes in a day where she didn't have to spend that time writing a post.
So right now it's not perfect, but the people that are going to win in this moment in time, because we've never, like, it is reality, and we've never seen anything like this in time before. Like, we've had, you know, the Industrial Revolution, we've had the iPhone. It was kind of like a slow burn.
Yeah.
Where this is going to be like, because like I think, like you're saying, it's been here for a while, but we actually haven't realized how much we are utilizing it in our day-to-day lives, because it's been a bit of a slow burn up until now, where it's about to go whew.
Yeah.
And the people that are actually showing up and giving it a go and going, "How do I utilize this to the best of my capacity?" are the ones that are going to win.
For sure.
Jess,
Yes.
what are some myths about artificial intelligence and business that you see that people talk about all the time on the socials that are just not true?
Well, the biggest myth is that it's been done. In fact, like I said, it's 0.000% utilized right now. So this is what our last event was about, saying that whatever you're doing in your industry, you can now become the Uber in your industry, plus leverage AI is like you will revolutionize your industry. And most people are thinking it's all been done. In fact, OpenAI, who created ChatGPT, what they've now made available is that this whole new world of opportunity, but not because it wasn't there. It's always been there. They actually cracked the code on something. What they've now done is create like a platform for all, like now we can stand on the shoulders of those giants.
That's and that's the thing that we're like, Al and I are talking about every day, is the world that we live in at the moment. This opens up so much opportunity for people. And the thing that we're talking about is me 20 years ago, right? The Jamey 20 years ago, if there was no online presence, I would have been the high school dropout, didn't know what I could be. But because, you know, the World Wide Web and hearing people's stories, it created possibility for me.
Yeah.
And that's what AI is doing for people. It's not taking away. It's not taking jobs. It's making things more efficient so we can have more and dream more and be more.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. The second one I have to say is that the myth about AI is that AI is actually the revolution. It's not AI. That's the revolution.
What do you think it is?
It's not. It's a thing called platform business models.
Yes.
Okay. And this is what we always talk about, is that when AI came along, everyone was like, "Oh, build us AI, build us AI." And then we'd get in these ideation sessions to develop an app or an application or a software product. And they'd go, "Oh, so we want AI to do this and this and this and this." And I was like, none of that's AI. That technology
It's just technology.
has been around for 50 years. It's just logic and algorithm. That stuff has been around forever.
So do you think it's just opening up more people as awareness now to go, "Hey, I need this technology in my company"?
They can see all this sort of like instant retrieval of things. Like Google was this instant retrieval of websites. Now we have this instant response to our questions, and we're like, "Oh, everything can be done instantly."
Yeah.
But it
So,
always
like you're saying, before we had Google so we could find the answers, and now we have the technology to actually build it.
Now, yeah, that's right. Now we have, but we always had that technology to build it. Now it's like people think something bigger is happening. But the bigger thing is it's not the AI. It's like, it's service industry and product industry is dying now. It will always be there, but it will get a lot smaller. And what we need now is platform business models.
Yep.
So models where, like what you guys have done, like a platform business, where you provide the infrastructure for a customer and a provider to work together.
Yep. To meet a need. Yep.
So you throw the party and everyone else brings everything else. And we need technology to do that.
I've been saying that to Jazz for a little while now, that all companies are coming in, like all companies are going to be tech companies.
Yeah.
And that's where we're at.
They have to be. But the platform yes.
Can you say a little bit more about the service and the product industry is dying? Because we have been saying the opposite. So
Okay.
can you say a little bit more about that?
Yeah. So I'll put it this way. What Uber did is I give this example because it's always one people know. What Uber did is they went, there's a service industry called taxis. They control way too much of everything. They control the drivers. They teach the drivers how to drive. They control when the drivers work. They control what the drivers do and how much they get paid. And then we have these consumers and we control them. We control when they're going to get a car, who they call, and all of that. And then if you want to be a driver, you have to go through this whole process. It's quite time consuming. And you'd notice that back in the day, the people that were driving the cars were mostly white old men.
I've heard this story where it's like Uber's actually fixed racism.
Yeah, because the only people who could afford it were actually, there was no opportunity. People were getting actually interviewed to be a driver. So what Uber did is build a platform and said, I'm not going to control who goes in it. I'm not going to say who can. I'm not going to set the price. I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to provide the platform. Here's how you become a driver. Here's how you become a rider. We're going to fix and make all the experiences that people hated. We're going to wipe those out, make it a seamless experience. You can be a driver and a rider or a driver. It's all up to you. We will just create the platform for everyone to play.
And the best thing about that too is that Uber didn't create any new technologies. All they did was package together existing technologies into one platform.
I'm still not following what you're saying, though. I do understand what you just said, but how is that? Because there's still a service in that. I get that Uber went and created. They're technically a tech platform. They're a tech business that provides a platform to connect riders and drivers.
Yeah.
But there's still drivers there, so there's still a service. What do you mean though? What do you mean though that the service industry is dying, or the individual service?
Well, if you think about it,
because you still need the drivers.
The service industry, that is not a service industry. Uber is a platform business. They are not a service business.
Goes back
but
to
they provide a service.
They don't. They provide a platform.
The drivers provide the service.
Uber do not provide a service. They provide the platform.
And that's their business model they operate under too, is a sharing platform.
It goes back to the line that we've been saying is it doesn't matter what business that you have right now, all businesses in the coming years will be a tech company.
Yeah, okay, I get that now.
No, it's a good point, because this is what we find, myself and my business partner, find the most is actually educating through this process. There is a service business model. There is a product business model. There is a platform business model.
Right.
They are all distinct business models. People are very unaware of platform business model.
I really want to fast forward to 5-10 years time from now to see where Green Rebellion is, but also just like how the world has changed and what businesses are thriving because they've adopted a platform business model.
Who
else comes on this fucking journey?
Have a look from the 1960s, right? There was 25% of people were employed in manufacturing. Now it's 8%.
Yeah.
That's what's happened so far. And you can imagine with the exponential growth we're going to have now, what we have available, where that's going to change as well too. And also not change in that area, but also grow in other areas too.
Look at how many jobs Uber did create. Like not only as HQ, Uber, like us at the Green Rebellion, and we're constantly growing our HQ. Like it's a massive fucking corporation now.
Yeah.
But the people on the ground and how much opportunity it afforded people. And that's where we're at. Like people talk about it taking so many jobs away. It's actually giving back so much. It's giving back people their time.
It's giving people opportunities to go, I'm going to be a driver today. I'm going to be an Airbnb host. I'm going to be,
I've been an Airbnb driver.
So I can leverage.
We are drinking wine on the podcast today.
She used to drive a caravan. Yeah.
If you think of the extra utilization.
Never driven a caravan.
You know the word
You're an Airbnb driver.
I want to say a sexy word, and there's things in business that I know that grow business, right?
Yeah.
Since the dawn of time. Leverage.
Yes. So that is
like if I could purr, like if you could do that roll, leverage.
I'll give you the example that my business partner uses, and it's pretty powerful. How much can you sell a service business for?
Is there a definitive question?
There is. It's a rule of thumb.
It's capped. So another one of my key business things, and what I know is business,
is not saying something.
Is not to cap yourself.
Well,
so is that where you're going?
Well, no. I just want to make the point. It's usually about 1 to 2 times more. So if you
annual revenue.
So you make $100,000 in revenue, you can sell a service business for 200, 250, right? Rule of thumb. And it might be a little bit more than that. Maybe it's 3. But then in a product business, it's a little bit more because of what you said, leverage. So in a product, you don't always need to hire experts or replace yourself. You've got a product, you need to just train people in the product, they can sell it. So it goes through about 4 or 5 times more. You can sell your business. How much do you think in a platform business people sell their businesses for?
Well, it's uncapped. So like,
well, think of the ones right now, like WhatsApp. How much did we buy WhatsApp for?
Well, we heard an amazing story, and where we're taking the business is, the Green Rebellion's just cleaning at the moment, but we're taking it to all home-based service. So Jazz and I were on a phone call with a young fella in Dubai. Am I saying that right now?
Dubai.
Oh, I've got it. My language is getting better. Podcasting, it's the way to go. Dubai. And he's like, oh, I've got this app that I order my cleaner on. And at that stage, we hadn't told him that we're going into all home-based service. He goes, but they do everything. Uber just bought that app. I think it was it 300 or 600 billion?
Yeah.
One app in the Middle East of like what we're creating. And that shows we're on the money in what we're creating at the Green Rebellion.
And so get this, how much revenue was that app making?
Well, he didn't tell us that. But I would like to know.
Because he was a consumer
I
of that.
assure you, if you think of it like this, WhatsApp had an annual revenue of somewhere in the vicinity of $2 million and was purchased for $16 billion.
Yeah, wow.
So I was going to say 100% off the top of my head of its net worth, but yeah.
No, so far more.
Yeah.
And then Uber, guess how much revenue Uber makes? Well,
64 billion.
It's okay. Guess how much profit they make?
I don't.
They're still not profitable. Okay.
Are you kidding?
Not.
Well, the Green Rebellion is profitable.
So one thing about platform businesses is they do take more time to actually generate profit, but they're worth more.
Potential,
Yeah.
And because of what you pointed to, leverage.
Leverage, and it's uncapped and it's duplicatable.
Well, the leverage, the automation, the kind of effects that come in, like network effects, the ability for people to do multiple things. So the value that is in a platform business is exponential.
And that's like at the Green Rebellion, like
Less manpower too.
Yeah, you'll see people go like this slowly, whereas in service businesses, they go like that.
It's exponential
with
growth.
expenses.
It's not linear, yeah.
And that's what I was just going to say. Like, it's not, we and the company and from the get-go is leveraging new trends, and what we have seen, it's not only our systems and automation and our setup that we're using. Like, we see the marketing side of things how we can use leverage for marketing and the people and the manpower.
Yeah, totally.
So Jess, another important question about AI. Do you think that there's a lot of hype on the internet that you would see around artificial intelligence taking away people's jobs? What's your answer to that as a leader in this industry?
I mean, if it's taking you 3 weeks to create a logo, don't you want it to take away your job? it's like I never worry about that stuff, because if you think
I know, but it's a real concern for people.
It will. The Industrial Revolution took away people's jobs in manufacturing. Good, because they were fucked jobs.
Yeah.
And no one should be standing in a factory putting sugar into a fucking plastic packet for 8 hours a day. I just don't think what it can do is the problem. I think
it bamboozles me that people don't see that it's actually giving us more, it's creating and what we were talking about before, right now we're on the cusp of something beautiful and amazing. And us as a company right now, what we would have had to wait to be able to afford somebody high up in their niche as a startup company, we now don't need to wait to afford that person, because AI or technology is offering us an opportunity to hire somebody at that entry level that's got all the things to be able to help them to operate from that level.
Completely. Do you know what it's forcing people to do? Become digital specialists.
Yes.
And be able to integrate multiple apps, because now we've got this maze of apps out there, maze of integrations. You get a product, you need to be able to integrate it, and hardly anyone knows how to do that.
Through developers keys and API? Is that?
Yeah, but who knows how to use API and integrate different apps? Who knows how to get... Yeah, right. So some people do. Very, very hard sought after people right now. They are the most needed digital specialists, digital integrators.
I don't even think I'm a digital specialist. I've just trained myself to be able to do that.
But you didn't go to uni. You didn't find out. Someone didn't go, come and do this at MIT. you just went, oh,
I can use
this is needed, this is needed, this is needed, this is needed, and now you get paid the big bucks
we
to do it.
Well, it's so crazy when you think about it like that, right? Like you've got, wasn't old mate that built Facebook, was he like going to some big college?
He was, I think, Stanford or one of those.
I went to year 9, and I'm developing one of the biggest companies that the world would ever see. And
but he didn't actually do any study. He did this. He went into Facebook.
And I don't say that lightly. And even that story that we heard the other day from old mate, where he spent $2 million on an app the year before.
Oh, yeah, this is extraordinary. So a good friend of ours, we had a call with him. He's like our lifeline. Like when we're like, think it's terrible and we're having a meltdown, we'll have a call with him. He's like, no, it's good. You're on the path. Do you know what I mean? Like, so we've had some really powerful conversations with him. In the last couple of years, he raised capital and spent $2 million on building an app, and because we were thinking about going and doing the tech build out like for the app now, and he's like, don't do it because in 18 months time or in 2 years time, AI is going to come that far that we'll be able to build it in a day and we won't have to raise capital. That $2 million that he raised from investors to build that, he said, his exact words, I may as well have gone and dumped a briefcase of $2 million on a bonfire because it was dead money.
Mm. And then he had an old mate,
he's like, wait 18 months, 2 years before we go, and he's like, there's too much change happening in technology and like the AI world or industry to go and source investors now to go and do what we need to do. So I'm looking forward to, fast forwarding.
I would challenge that though.
Well,
I get what he's saying. There's a lot of advancement, but I think the thing that people who do that is low cost, no cost right now is you go and get really clear on the problem you're solving. You go and get really clear on the target market, their customer journey, their experience that's not working right now for them. That's so hard in your industry. You get super clear on that. You do your financial modeling, your value modeling, your business model. You can do all of that. I mean, just to plug myself, we can do that as well as consultants for you. But
I was like, you guys do that.
Yeah, we do that. But if you can actually do that stuff, there's stuff on the internet that teaches you how to do that. People don't do that and then get $2 million worth of investment. They absolutely screw that and blow that money.
But he was talking about it in the sense that he spent a lot of time, a lot of money developing this app, and then he went and wrote the whole ChatGPT. He went, right, make this app for me, and it made it within a few sentences back and forwards. And
he got the code.
He got the code.
Oh yeah, you can actually go online now on certain sites and buy Facebook's source code.
Yeah.
You do not. There's no like IP of it now. Someone can go and actually do that. It's all available.
And this is where AI is going to get interesting too, because it'll be around the governance of what you can actually do with AI. Because there are a lot of people out there with not such good intentions that could use it for not so good things.
I don't think as humans we will let that happen. Like I'm on fucking the good side. I think there's more good in the world than bad, and I think.
Well, if it does happen, I'll be dead, so it won't matter. But I'm playing.
I don't think. Don't be too fucking sure. Like this is like nobody knows. Like I think like what we're talking about before.
Yeah.
Like we've slowly gone with technology so far up to this, but they're going to say aliens are real soon. Like all this shit's going to come out.
They just proved it.
I think I'm going to jump on ChatGPT after this and build myself a Medibed so I live forever.
It's
the US government just admitted aliens are real. I could be wrong.
Well, they've
I know.
admitted it for years.
Yeah.
But if you look at the data...
Okay, tech. Let's talk about tech.
The data is...
The data is they only ever go to America. Nowhere else. Only America. That's the only place they want to go.
Can I just tell you the data on that?
I saw a UFO with my own eyes. They'd go to the bush too.
Babe,
they go to the bush.
You saw something. We have not validated this with data and research.
You know the crazy thing is...
I see heaps of shit.
Yeah, but I don't take drugs. My old bloke who's so straighty 180, right?
Your old bloke.
My old bloke, straighty 180.
Your dad?
Yep, doesn't, thank you for your interpretation. For the listeners, we have a big American viewers. They're like, what the fuck is she talking about?
You have a young bloke.
So my dad is so straighty 180. and like doesn't believe in ghosts, doesn't like if I see it, I believe it. He saw it with his own eyes. We don't know what to call it. It was an unidentified flying object that we saw, and also got followed up. So we were so off the tech issue, but this is where we're going.
It might have just been AI that came back into
So
now.
whatever it was, right? We
Just
saw
to give you the
we
experience.
saw it, and it's something that still to this day that we cannot describe. Like it was there for 5 seconds. It was there for an hour. I was only 10 at this time. Dad was a mature man.
Yeah.
And then we had land about an hour and a half from where we were. We had somebody out working on our property that saw it 5 minutes later. And it's nothing that can be interpreted as a plane or anyway. True story. So get your data on that.
Well, so see, now we're going into UFOs. So in the American Navy, they had at least 100 sightings of the same, what they called this little Tic Tac capsule. When it actually got investigated and taken seriously, they were able to show that based on certain things, it was actually a reflection that came from the elements at that height.
And this is the crazy thing.
So you got to do the research and the data before you can validate. I'm not saying there's not aliens. It's probably highly likely that they are. I'm just saying that a lot of the time what we call
I don't like
data.
I'm pretty convinced we're in a fucking simulation. So
let's not go there.
Whatever, if it is aliens or it's
Someone
just
said to me-
part of the computer.
Just a part of
this
someone's
is where
code
I'm-
string.
This is what AI. Someone said to me, "Do you know what AI really is?
What?
It's like we were the original AI, and now we're creating it." I'm like, yeah, that's right. The Matrix was AI.
But I think this is what back to AI and where we're at. It does really afford opportunity, and whatever your beliefs are. It's like, you know, I love that you're data driven. Like I get like data and the data says, but the thing is, data's still open to interpretation, you know, like
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Data is only telling us something based on a hypothesis, a question in the moment that it's answered. And then it's irrelevant.
so this is where I feel like we're at. We don't know what's happening.
No.
The only thing that we can count on for sure, right, is the service-based jobs, which I know that you're saying service-based industry is not really a thing, but the jobs that people can still do manually that doesn't take away like skin-to-skin contact, massage. Like, doctors can be null and void because we can stand in front of a computer.
Human conversation.
Human conversation. It just supports those roles. And my inkling, and especially going through COVID and seeing where we were at and, you know, being pulled away from one another, people are going to want service-based industries more than ever because they're going to desire, it's part of our human...
As certain things diminish, we're going to have to add back.
It's part of our human soul and need to want that. And we were talking about before about self-service checkouts, right? Like one thing, like how many of us would actually pay more to not go to the fucking grocery store at all or go to the grocery store and pay more for a human to actually do it for us?
Well, yeah, I don't want to say that it's going to be dead completely. There'll always be a component of service. I mean, even in Zingify, we have an app, custom branded app. We sell custom branded apps, right? So we do these amazing apps, so super simple, and then no one knows how to create the content. So we have a content agency, you know. So we have a service-based agency because to actually leverage and utilize it properly, people still need the service. So we are just saying that we can see that whatever we're doing in the agency, we know we're always looking for how to automate it and turn it into something.
It supports it. It supports service-based industry. Like, so for us and people, like, if you think about the people that are coming in through Biz in the Box for us, and they would have had to go find a university or a college and they spend a fuckload of money.
Go to business school.
They had to train, and then they had to either go and start their own shop or they had to go and get a job and pay minimum wage. For us, because of technology, AI and supporting systems, they come in, they can train with us straight away for minimum cost, and they've got instant cash flow, instant good cash flow. And that's because technology is supporting service-based industry more than ever before.
Yeah, it's the I just want to emphasize it's the business model that is shifting. AI.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying completely there. Yep.
The component of the business model, which is
Platform-based business models.
Isn't going to take away the need for service, like you said.
Yeah.
It's
a shift in
It's a shift in the business model. So the whole business is not a service. The business is a platform and it has a service component. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Which is exactly what you were just
So
saying.
on closing, what's your take as a professional in the tech industry and knowing what you know? What's your take on what we're doing at the Green Rebellion?
Well, I always thought about it as like the Uber for cleaning. When you said that,
but it's just the start.
It's the same.
So, you know, Biz in the Box is its own industry by itself. We're so excited about the Green Rebellion, but our training platform and our app is the big kahuna of where we're going, which like people get to leverage that. And we've got a lot of brand licensees that are coming in now, and they're so excited because we will be the go-to that anybody comes and trains in any service-based industry.
Oh, at any service-based industry.
Home service.
Yeah. Wow.
Instant access.
Now you're interested.
Yeah. Oh, now I want to ask more questions, but we're about to end, aren't we?
Yeah.
Hang on, it's your podcast. Yeah.
Thank you, Jess Claire. We're so appreciative of you coming and spending your valued time, your valued knowledge with us at the Green Rebellion.
Thank you.
And the Business Throuple podcast.
Love you.
Thanks for having me.
She didn't tell any jokes, but we'll get her in next time.
And if you're interested in finding out more, click on the links below, and we'll drop Jess's profile links as well if you want to have a conversation with Jess.
Zingify.ai.
Zingify.ai. Thanks, Jess.
Thank you. Brand licensees, come at us. We're ready. Worldwide in 3 years.